One thing that I've been asked this week is, Harry, I'm doing 10 pieces of outreach a day. Is that enough? So first combat that, and I'm going to go into the second part of the question. What do you think of that? 10 outreach a day.
10 outreach a day. Okay. That person it's going to take them like 20 years to sign a client.
Yeah. Well, my first rebuttal to him was, what's that outreach? Because 10 serious cold calls a day is very different than you sending 10 of the same email or 10 of the same DM every day. This person was doing DMs, and I gave him the same answer we always say on this podcast, but there isn't, in terms of he said he was doing 10 Instagram DMs a day, yeah, cold DMs. And he wondered why he didn't get a client, but that's not down to him. He just doesn't know the right way to do things. But there isn't, people always ask me, that's not the first time I've been asked that, is how much outreach do I need to do every day? And that's completely dependent on how quickly you want to see results. That's like someone asking, how many times do I need to practice, I don't know, juggling before I can juggle, isn't it? It's like, or how many times do I need to go to the gym a week? Well, the more times you go, the better you're going to be, or like the more fit you're going to be.
I think it's more like how much outreach do I need to do? What a big factor of it is how good you are. Yeah. Because I don't need to do much outreach because my success rate, my conversion rate is so high. So I could make 10 cold calls and probably get 4 appointments.
Yeah.
In reason. So, but yeah, that could take someone 100 to get 4. So it does depend on how good you are, but you're not going to get better unless you are consistently doing repetition, just like the analogy you just gave for the gym. You know? But if I'm doing 10 outreach a day, unfortunately, he's been told or has an impression that that's enough for success. Like, I think people certainly more so than ever want success to land like quite easily for them and feel that, oh, that will be enough, and it's not working, when actually people who make money, whether it's online or have their own store or whatever, everything is, the most common factor out of all of that is sheer hard work.
Yeah. And well, the second thing, I agree 100%. And the second thing I said to him is, if you've got no clients and you're only doing 10 pieces of outreach a day, what are you doing with the rest of your time? If you own obviously a day job, fine. Like if you've got family to look after, whatever. But 10 pieces of outreach I could do especially DMs, I could do that in 15, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
So you're running your agency for 20 minutes a day and you want to earn 10K a month. Like, that's not going to happen. So in the beginning, what else are you doing? Like, are you spending loads of time building a website that no one's going to see? Are you spending loads of time making your brand perfect, or your logo, or whatever it is? Like, you need to, and we say this all the time in the academy, you need to spend 100% of your time on money-making tasks. And the only money-making task for your agency at the beginning before you get a client is outreach. You need to spend every second available to doing outreach, even if it's at night, even if you're doing LinkedIn outreach because your target audience is on LinkedIn. Yeah, you might not even want to send messages at 12 p.m. at night, but just draft them up and then send them all at 9 a.m. Like, you need to be doing as much as you can, or doing all your prospecting in the evening so you can cold call them the next day. You've got a list of what they've been doing in the past, what their website is, all of this stuff. That's what you need to be spending your time in. But to do 10 cold DMs a day, which I imagine they weren't targeted, or there was little research gone into them, that's 15 minutes of a day. That's just not enough to get to where you need to be.
It's not. I do think when people are starting out in SMMA, you have to write down your priority list and your priority order of how you're going to grow and get clients. You actually do need to map out a bit of a strategy on a personal level. So the first things first is, do you understand SMMA? And we talked about this before. Then how are you actually going to get a stranger to trust you, okay, and give you their money? Like, that's a process. That's a real, and it is a serious thing that you need to understand how that process works. Yeah. Are you going to ring 10 strangers and expect one of them to sign with you? Some people genuinely do. But and it's also a numbers game. We talk about this a lot. It is a numbers game. The more numbers you put in, the better you're going to get, and the better outreach.
Yeah, well, and I said that to the guy that messaged me. And if you're listening to this, this isn't us, slating you or whatever it is, and we're just bringing it to light to other people, because I'm sure they're feeling the same, and I'm sure they're going to feel the same about what I'm about to say that he mentioned. I said, what did I say here? I said you need to be spending more than an hour a day on outreach. And he said, well, I have a problem, Harry. I'm lazy. And I said,
It's honest.
I said, mate, the honesty there and the self-awareness to say that you're lazy is amazing, but there isn't a solution to laziness. You just have to get your shit together and know that you can't be a business owner if you're lazy. And he appreciated the straight up, like me being straight up with him. You can't, if you're lazy before you get a client, imagine what you're going to be when you do get a client. You're earning 10 grand a month. How lazy are you going to be then? And it's just going to go to shit.
Like, never earn 10 grand a month.
No, you could.
That person can never earn 10 grand a month.
I mean, how would you respond to fixing laziness?
Some people are just born lazy.
Yeah.
They are just born bone idle, and that they're the type of people who just always need to be made accountable for what they do.
Yeah.
There's some things you just can't help people with. One's laziness and one's stupidity. Like, some people are just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And
I think that, yeah, I mean, it's going to be really tough if you're just straight up have made the decision in your head that you're lazy and you can't be willing to put the work in. It does mean you also don't want it enough. If you want something that bad, then you're not going to be lazy. You're only lazy because you either have doubts that it will work, you don't really believe in yourself, or you don't really want it that much. Why else would you be lazy? I've been lazy. I'm a lazy person for things I don't want to do. Like, it's like doing the housework. No one wants to go like hoover your house or whatever, vacuum your house if you're in America. Like, no one does. Everyone's lazy at that because it's not enjoyable. But if you find something you enjoy, I don't think you'll be lazy. It's like, I bet you're not lazy when you watch TV or Netflix.
Yeah.
Because you enjoy it, or it's an escape or whatever.
I think there's definitely, you can't help people who are lazy. It's just a motivation thing. And some people do lack a lot of motivation in life.
Yeah.
You have to run any successful business, you have to be a very highly motivated individual. You do. And like you say, you have to want it enough. You can't want it enough. And actually Gary say that laziness is a good thing, because you then will only do I've seen something that he said, and he said that you'll then only do the things you want to do, and that you're actually committed to doing. Yeah. So if he said, I'm lazy and I can't do the outreach, and he's just not feeling the vibe enough to be successful. Some people like me and you are just, all we ever think about is being successful and work, and we're so driven, but it's not easy for people.
It's not. It's a tricky one. That's a tricky. I'm sure loads of people feel it. They're lazy.
I've worked with a lot of salespeople, probably over 200-300 salespeople. The best ones are the ones that are most driven and motivated. Like, you can't stop them.
No, and I also think that might be what's preventing a lot of people signing clients, because you can sense laziness. If you self-diagnose yourself with lazy, it means you notice you're lazy, and other people are going to notice you're lazy as well, even by how you speak, how you communicate, how you hold yourself, your body language. So if you've had meetings and you self-diagnose yourself as lazy, I'm sure those clients recognize you're lazy as well. If you sloppily put a presentation together, or you're sloppy on phone calls or turning up to a meetings on time, they're going to recognize that as well. No business is going to pay you a substantial retainer to someone that's lazy, because it will show in your work. And I'm no doubt that the clients will sense that. So you do need to just just get your shit together, really, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can build up to it. If you're lazy in terms of you can't do loads of outreach, just every day make sure you do 5 more. Like, you do 10 today, make sure you do 15 tomorrow. You don't have to just jump into, if you're lazy at 10 outreach a day, doesn't mean you need to dive into 200 a day. Just slowly build yourself up. I think that's the best constructive criticism I can give.
I don't have a lot of time for lazy people, mate.
No, me neither, but I don't want to just, in terms of giving some constructive criticism, some constructive advice. But I agree. I think you will struggle. You will really struggle.